Hey ladies and gentlemen, Eric Morehouse here with the Morehouse Group and eXp Realty. Your next Agent 101 topic is what you say can and will be used against you in real estate. Now let me just state this for full disclosure. This is the signs of an agent going above and beyond for their clients, which resulted in poison ivy on the face. Point is, go above and beyond for your clients. Try to avoid the facial poison ivy. The topic I want to cover is about communication and disclosure, not with communication between you and your clients, but communication with either the representing agent on the other side of a deal, buyer or seller's agent. And what I want to say is make sure that your conversations, while they sometimes might get friendly, to kind of work that angle, should be limited in information that's only going to be beneficial for you. Certainly not destructive to your leverage and abilities to negotiate. And I want to give you a couple examples. One that I just recently experienced when I was on the buying side of a transaction and my client was an investor. They wanted to get some information on whether or not the property had been rented before and what the rent would be. I asked the question, has it been rented before? If so, what was the rent? I decided to follow that up by saying, because my client is an investor and they are planning on renting it out, which they might have already known because of the question, and they certainly would have found out once we submitted the offer. It would have said not for a primary residence, but I didn't really need to say that. I could have just asked the question and got the information that I needed, but and it might have not affected the contract, but there are some sellers out there who would be willing to take an offer even less because it went to the right buyer. If it was like the family with the 2 kids and the dog, and they say, you know what, we've got this investor here who's going to rent it out and they're willing to pay $10,000 more for it, I'd rather have it in the hands of this family. I'm going to go with them. So disclosing that little tidbit of information on the end of those questions was not necessary. Bigger examples that I've heard on the other end of the phone from some agents is they'll say, oh yeah, well, we're trying to figure a couple things out, but my clients are going through a divorce and you know, it's a little difficult for communication. Ooh, that is not something I would ever want to disclose on either side of the transaction. That's something that would basically uncover a lot of leverage that you could potentially have because somebody's going through a tough time. Another example is if somebody's relocating and maybe they've relocated a distance, already telling your clients that, yeah, you know, well, they've already moved, this home is vacant, they'd like to close super fast, really uncovers a lot of information that makes you vulnerable if you were going to try and work your best negotiation skills that you've already uncovered some weaknesses for the other side to use. So the reason why I want to say what you say can and will be used against you is because that's the way the Miranda rights are phrased, that, you know, limiting the conversation a lot of times is the best thing you can do. I don't want to say you should lie by omission or you should avoid important things, but really keep the conversations limited. Certainly do your best to not get into personal things that involve your clients that would unlock some power that your individual that you're working against on the other side of the table, or I guess working with on the other side of the table, could use against you. So that's the topic for today. Get out there and sell some homes. It is beautiful right now. It's spring and is sprung and it's beautiful. So I hope it's a very good market for you all. If you have any additional topics you'd like me to cover, please let me know.